Paramahansa Parividagacharya Astatarasatasi Srimad His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Gaur Premalandi. You're teaching him how to shake the shaker by shaking him so he can then shake the shaker. Something like that. Something like that. It's really cold in the temple, so I have to wear a sweater in the temple, and I'm not used to it being so cold. So I've got a sweater here, I don't need it. I want to stay in the temple for a while and be in the cold. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. On a light note, today is Dravida's birthday. And I sent him a little birthday note that had some humor in it. And he sent me a poem that I said I'm going to read for the devotees tonight. But it's not a birthday poem. Glorification of Srila Prabhupada. You know, Dravida. I can't dance like he can when he recites his poetry, but I can read it. Nice. And it rhymes, of course. Prabhupada, we hail the day when you appeared just like a ray of Krishna's vast effulgence bright to give this blind world back its sight. We thank you from the bottom of our heart and pray with deepest love that lotus feet in every circumstance we meet. Two more. As years go by and books go out, we see what life is all about to serve your mission and our Lord's by spreading wide your sacred words. One more. As well, to strive to let those words direct our lives, this safest path to lead us home, no more in Maya's realm to roam. The end. Dravida Prabhu Ki Jai. So this is a continuation from the morning class on verse 15, Canto 15, verse 15. Our technology. Translation. My dear Lord, if your transcendental body, which shelters the entire universe, is actually lying upon the water, then why were you not seen by me when I searched for you? Why, though I yourself. Now remember, he's speaking to a 5-year-old boy that's standing in front of him smiling with a lump of yogurt rice in his left hand. But he's kind of gone past, that limited form, and he's now in this Garbhodakshai Vishnu feature of Krishna's expansion. If your transcendental body, which shelters the entire universe, is actually lying upon the water, then why were you not seen by me when I searched for you? And why, though I could not envision you properly within my heart, did you then suddenly reveal yourself? And here's commentary by Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur. Question. 2 questions. Is it possible that this spiritual form arises from material water? It is not possible that this unlimited Narayan can be existing in the limited waters of Garbhodak. And if that form is situated in the waters, then why could I not find that form after searching for a long time in the lotus stem? You may answer that you were there in the water, but I could not see you. But then how is it that I could see you through meditation, but then suddenly could not see you in meditation? Though you are in the water and seem to be limited, you hold within you the universes, plural, and are therefore unlimited. Here we go again, this mystery of the inconceivable potencies of Krishna bewildering people that try to measure things with yardsticks. Answer. You exist in all places, at all times. But by the covering of your Yogamaya potency, you are sometimes visible and sometimes invisible. That's it for Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur for this verse. Jiva Goswami writes, Brahma speculates in this verse, period. Now he's already said he has to give up speculation. But here he goes. If this expansion of yours in the water is real and spiritual or sat, and is the embodiment of the universe, then why was that form not seen by me, the form of all jivas, the embodiment of the whole universe? Why did I not see you clearly? Why did I see you clearly only in my heart during samadhi, with mature intelligence as a form with eternity, knowledge, and bliss? This is described in the 3rd canto. Here's the Sanskrit, it's really simple. Nata param parama yad bhavita swarupam ananda matram avikalpam avidhi parchaha. Translation, Canto 3, Chapter 9, Text 3, 393. O Supreme Lord, I do not see that you are different from your form as the Brahman, which is without qualities and only bliss. That's Jiva Goswami's rendering. Here's Prabhupada's, same verse. O my Lord, I do not see a form superior to your present form of eternal bliss and knowledge. In your impersonal Brahman effulgence in the spiritual sky, there is no occasional change and no deterioration of internal potency. And the last sentence reads, why did I not see you again, externally? And very involved is Sanatana Goswami's commentary. Brahma elaborates on the true existence of the Lord. If you were situated on the water, why did I not see you by external vision? You appeared in my heart at that time by following your order, tapa, tapa. Only after long practice Su drishtam, long practice. But even then, the effort did not give the full effect, that is, seeing you externally. Why did you not appear to my external vision? And only in my heart. And you did not appear again. This implies that after the Lord gave benedictions to Brahma, he appeared, they spoke, please take benedictions. He made his request. Vishnu gave his benedictions. After the Lord gave benedictions to Brahma and disappeared, Brahma performed meditation again out of pain and separation in order to see him, and could only eventually see him again in his heart after some time. This means that later the Lord spontaneously did appear in his heart, although it said he didn't. Now it's saying again, did you not appear later, Punaha, with your beauty ornaments and followers? Yes, you did. Like the Lord's body, his pastimes, objects, and water are all self-manifesting. Even though Narayana is truly existing, even when there is no water, and even if he is always without the water, because his pastimes are eternal, his associates and other objects are truly existing. That's dealing with impersonalism, because they say, Upadi, Upadi, Upadi. All there is Brahma and everything else is Upadi. So he's addressing that. And we're almost done. In Krama Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami adds, my dear Lord, if your body, which shelters the entire universe and lies on the water, is real and spiritual, then why were you not seen by me when I searched for you? And why did you appear clearly in my heart? Why did you not then appear to my external vision? Paragraph. In 8 verses, Brahma explains Krishna's position. Although this, one of the nicest things about the early third or so of Canto 10, it's Krishna's childhood pastimes, and its pastimes are really lovely. There's also profound philosophy woven into the pastime, and this is Lord Brahma, the head of our sampradaya, and he's giving Krishna Tattva like anything. Because the next 8 verses describing Krishna Tattva, although we already went through a really arduous section of Krishna Tattva. It's because Brahma, as the head of our sampradaya and the receiver of all the knowledge of all the Vedas, imparted directly within his heart, he's now seeing Krishna with his eyes, or externally, as he's saying here, for the first time. Our dear Parama Karuna came up with some commentary that he's busy with the marathon now. He's going to send it after Christmas because he's really busy with the marathon. They're doing really well. He gave some numbers. But he said, he read in commentary somewhere that what Brahma saw in Canto 10, Chapter 9, what Brahma saw was the 2-armed form of Krishna. But it's, I replied, here's the verse, it saw the 4-armed form of Vishnu, or Narayan. The Garbhodakshay Vishnu is the source. When he was on the top of the lotus, he heard splashing. So that means there's water somewhere. A part that's really puzzling, two things that's puzzling. In that section in chapter 9, it says the lotus was effulgent. And the personality of Godhead, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, is reclining on Anantashesh, who has jewels on his hood, which are effulgent. It's those jewels on the hood of Anantashesh that was illuminating the passage of Vasudeva carrying Krishna across the Jamuna River, the jewels on the hoods of Anantashesh. So two sources of illumination, but then we hear in Brahma Samhita there was darkness in all directions. Because somebody asked that question. Like Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is effulgent also. And Anantashesh's hoods are effulgent. So why was there darkness in all directions? I don't have an answer. Even if you say it was far away, still, the effulgence is effulgence. Because the stem goes all the way, the lotus goes to the very, very top of the universe. Brahmaloka is at the top of the universe. And the other planetary systems are situated vertically below that or within the stem or however you want to think of it. So even if it's far away, it's not. But anyway, darkness in all directions, where there's some effulgence here and there. So he has knowledge. This is an aesthetic about 10th canto. Repeatedly woven back and forth is the role of Krishna's opulences and the role of Krishna's sweetness. When he's in Vrindavan, he exhibits his opulences. But because, two things, because the devotees have such strength of love, they don't perceive the opulences. It just doesn't register on their, measuring sticks. They see, but they don't see. They can't process it that, wow. And from time to time they do go, wow, but they don't come to the conclusion that he's God. And this one may come really close. When Krishna rescues Nanda Maharaj from the abode of Varuna and brings him back. And then Nanda Maharaj starts describing to the elders, the cowherds, men, what he experienced. And it's double. He experienced the opulence of Varuna, which he's a demigod, so it's like opulence that's out of this world. And this opulent Varuna, sat Krishna down and worshipped him, literally. So, who's this boy? Like the others would ask him sometimes, after the Govardhan Leela, the whole chapter, who is this boy? This and that and the other thing. And Nanda concludes just simply, Gargamuni said that this son of yours will have opulences like Narayan. So he's got some special opulences, but he's our son. So we have to take care of him. And he's kind of naughty, he goes and steals things. And when he hears thunder, he cries and he comes running. And he talks nonsense a lot, So they don't process his opulences as divinity. And then there's this other position that those that are outside of Vrindavan, they know of his divinity, they know of his opulences, they know of his position as supreme. But they also have great, immense appreciation for the kind of love that Krishna has for them and that they have for Krishna in Vrindavan. Yeah, I meant to say. In addition to their having a particular kind of love, Krishna reciprocates with their love by his Yogamaya potency covering them so they see but they can't see. It's a very different kind of Maya that we have. We see but we don't see, and they see but they don't see. And it's a very different kind of Maya, Yogamaya and Mahamaya. So Krishna reciprocates. So the Vrindavan mood is different. And then the outside Vrindavan mood is different. So Brahma is coming with that outside Vrindavan mood. Now he has knowledge, obviously, and he's expressing it. And he has curiosity. Even knowledgeable people, most credible, knowledgeable people know that they don't know everything. So he knows he doesn't know everything. And especially when it comes to Krishna Tattva. He understands lots of things, and there's some things he doesn't understand, like why I couldn't see you. And following that, 8 more verses of Krishna Tattva. So hearing from Brahma, it is a very nice section because he's the head of our sampradaya. And he, at the conclusion or towards the end of his prayers, wants to take birth in Braja. So he who is at the head of our sampradaya, the topmost position in the whole universe, there isn't someone that has the kind of power that he has. I mean, somebody may be, whatever, they may be good at doing something. Developers, they build houses. Or technology people, they build electronics or they build computers. And it's not easy to do that stuff. So, Elon Musk can build, things that go into space. But, who can he create space? And the planets that you may want to go visit, etc. So Brahma is very intelligent. And he's exhibiting it, but it's not just material, it's very devoted intelligence. He's a 10% devotee. And he's through that, the prayers and glorification of Krishna, he is disclosing to us truths about Krishna that we wouldn't understand unless he disclosed them. I'm listening to a section in Prabhupada speaking Bhagavad Gita. I'm up to chapter 10. That little nice device that has everything in it loaded up already. So I'm in chapter 10. He's just beginning chapter 10. It's right on the topic, where Krishna says, even the great demigods and the rishis, etc., don't understand me. And he gives, details about each of them and why they don't understand him. And Krishna says that I don't understand them because I existed before they existed, so they can't know my origin. But then Prabhupada says, how can you? If you can't understand Krishna, then can you understand Krishna? And one can understand Krishna according to what Krishna discloses. And Krishna will disclose it according to one's bhakti. So the bhakti of Brahma just got stimulated a whole bunch by seeing what Brahma saw. And by seeing Krishna's original form, which he didn't see before. And even when he came and observed the Aristasura being killed, he saw Krishna, but he didn't get all these realizations that he has now, because look what he did. He made an offense. You don't make an offense if you have correct regard. So if you don't have correct regard, how are you going to have realization? So Krishna took all that away. That's part of his kindness. And then he revealed many things to Brahma, which is part of his kindness. And he's sharing those things with us. Compliments of Vyasadeva and Shukadev and our acharyas that are revealing things. So we get Krishna Tattva, even our bhakti isn't so great. But it helps polish bhakti, like polishing a diamond, using that metaphor. So it will glitter and shine, and we can get realizations just by hearing from Brahma. And of course, everything depends on the quality of one's hearing, or the eagerness to be connected with Krishna as we're hearing. But whatever our position is, it's beneficial and effective. So a nice big panorama of Krishna Tattva, and 8 more verses to go on Krishna Tattva, just on this section. It's a long chapter. So let's see if there's some discussion. Yesterday I read a whole bunch and I think it was too much. So this is shorter. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj. I had a question around when you had said that Krishna heightened Lord Brahma's bhakti through this revelation, as shown by these prayers, or Krishna revealed himself again to Lord Brahma. I was just thinking about Krishna sending Uddhava to Vrindavan also to heighten his bhakti. So I was wondering if you could provide maybe a little compare-contrast with that.
Well, the situation, the qualification of Uddhava is superlative. As far as I understand it, outside of Vrindavan, he's the superlative one, even greater than anyone. Even greater than Narada, and even greater than Brahma, and greater than anyone. He's the greatest. Greater than Arjuna. The intimacy of his relationship with Krishna is the greatest. So his experience was different. Similar, however. When Uddhava went to deliver Krishna's message, he first, proper etiquette, he paid his respects at the home of Nanda and Jasoda. Of course, there's different explanations of what that was like, but the Bhagavatam one is, he says specifically, Uddhava says specifically to Nanda. Nanda asks, how is he? Is he ever going to come see us again? Does he remember? He doesn't even say his parents. Most parents would say, does he remember his parents? But he says, does he remember his friends? Does he remember the cows? Does he remember the forest of Vrindavan and the beloved river Jamuna? Is he going to come visit again? He said he would. Is he going to come again? He's like, anxious to see him again. And Uddhava's moved by his purity and his bhakti, and says, oh Nanda, you are so fortunate. You have a direct relationship. He doesn't say your son. You have a direct relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes and the source of everything. Now, Nanda Maharaj's worshipable deity, is Ishtadev, is Lord Narayan. So we have such a wonderful relationship with your worshipable deity, Lord Narayan. That's not what he's saying. And that's how Nanda took it, because he can't hear that Krishna is God. He just can't hear it. So, Uddhava's experience was more on the rasa side. He was jubilant. He was moved by the depth and intensity of Nanda's love, what to speak of the gopis. Because after he left their home, that's where he went. And Brahma's, it ended with he wants to become a blade of grass. And Brahma's is much more, not that Uddhava's kind of weak in the intellect side or knowledge side, but his response is more on the heart side. And Lord Brahma's, at least what we hear, there may be many of the things that were going on, but he's just disclosing truths about Krishna on the opulence side, as opposed to the sweetness side. He sees it, but it doesn't. He doesn't. That isn't the way that he reciprocates with what he experiences. It's not the same. Their personalities are different. Their relationship is different. So it reflects in how they respond. But your specific question was seeing. He saw in meditation, but now he's seeing directly. And both of them had the opportunity to see directly. No, this is Brahma seeing Krishna directly. And Uddhava didn't see Krishna directly, he saw the associates of Vrindavan directly. Now, you may, I don't know if I hit the jackpot, if the question, the particular curiosity item, or you wanted to hear more about, was covered or not. Yes?
Yes, Maharaj. I was especially intrigued when you were just talking about the transitions that both of them experienced, that Uddhava was more on the rasa side, and Lord Brahma, it was that
some on the rasa side, but more on the astonishment side.
Because that was also something I was thinking about, is when you were talking about how the residents of Vrindavan, they focus more on the sweetness, less on the opulence.
Yes.
And that didn't really seem to be an outcome of Lord Brahma's prayers to Krishna, even though he had so much interaction and pastime in Vrindavan in that context.
Yeah. Remember, Uddhava is with Krishna all the time, and Brahma is serving remotely. So he already has an intimacy with Krishna as friend, like Arjuna. And Brahma is not in the same. He has rasa, but it's not, that intimacy isn't fully matured yet. He's still in the demigod position, not in the intimacy, constant companion of Krishna situation. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. Up front, up here. We got to do the wiping it down. It's our protocol for these gatherings.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My question is just hearing the pastimes that you described, and also Yashodhanandan Prabhu's question about Uddhava Prabhu, or Uddhava.
Uddhava.
I've been noticing something recently, kind of like a pattern. I think being raised in Krishna consciousness, there are certain things that we just hear and we've heard since we were kids and we don't think twice about. Like when we're reading and we read the Supreme Personality of God, we just read it. But it's not like I actually think about what that means because I've heard it so many times. And I think similarly when I'm hearing about Uddhava, I've heard about Uddhava so many times I don't actually think, like, it sometimes confuses me, like Uddhava is Krishna, right? Because he's another form of Krishna, but then he's not, he's in a relationship with Krishna, and same with Radharani, he's another form of Krishna, but he's in a relationship with, like, I feel like I hear all these things, but I never take a time to stop and be like, wait, what does this actually mean? So I wanted to hear from you, like, how important is it that I mean, obviously it's important, but do you think that that is something that'll happen over time? Does that make sense? Or is it something that I have to really be consciously aware and ask questions and figure it out? Because I know some things we just can't know, right? So how much is, I don't know if that makes sense, but.
Yeah, I think I got it. You could say, like, there are three parts of what you said that I'd like to respond to. One is, you spoke of Uddhava as a form of Krishna, like Radharani is a form of Krishna, but not Krishna. But, Uddhava is not a form of Krishna. Uddhava has a physical appearance like Krishna, but he's not a form of Krishna. He's a bhakta, not the avatari and so forth. So another is hearing repeatedly. It's a little bit, to respond to your question, it's a little bit like numerical chanting versus chanting from the heart. And if we just continue with the numerical chanting, is that going to take us to where we want to go? No. Do we have to make an effort? Yes. So the effort is needed to understand not exactly what does this mean, but like, that's information kind of thing. But it's more, I'm saying it this way, it's more on the rasa side of things. Like, the taste of the happiness that Krishna is experiencing, because that's one of the things that Brahma says, I can't understand, there's no way I don't understand your form, and no way can I understand the happiness that you'll feel. So the objective is purification, so that in that purified state we can understand more about the sweetness aspect of Krishna, not just the information aspect of Krishna. And it is something that we need to strive for, but not the information aspect. In the beginning, you take just some, whatever example, learning to cook in the kitchen, or learning to type on a typewriter, or you got a new smartphone, and how do I work this thing? Somebody has gotten me some medical device, and now she's trying to figure out, does it work? And once I get it, I'm going to have to figure out how it works. So that's that's the information. But it's not the same as hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and chanting the holy name. It's the taste, the loving attraction for Krishna that grows, and as that grows, then the understanding becomes more clear. Not just numerical chanting, nor just by repeatedly hearing, but both of them require desiring to make the connection with Krishna, and as the connection with Krishna is made, then truths about Krishna become revealed that otherwise will just remain either a mystery, or just like, we're still numb with not understanding things. Bhakti gives knowledge, so that's what we want. It's good to ask. I've been speaking this repeatedly. It's good to ask. Inquisitiveness is good, wanting to know. But wanting to know is not just the information kind of wanting to know. It's from the heart wanting to know, which means through bhakti. And so I want to know more and more and more about Krishna, because in that way my love for Krishna will grow more and more. It's not just fitting puzzle pieces together. And then you put that puzzle together, and then you go on to the next puzzle. Like kids. It's not like that. We do want to know. We should want to know. And so that eagerness to want to know, shifting into the bhakti realm, then it's tasting something that we otherwise didn't taste, a happiness that keeps us going further and further, because it's just so attractive. It's just not like anything else. We still do our worldly duties, but it's then consciousness of Krishna, thought of Krishna stays with you, because he's so attractive and so mysterious and so loving and so this and that. Effort, please.
There's some online questions.
Okay.
Okay. The first is from Adi Shakti Mataji, who writes, Drona and Dara became Krishna's parents because of Brahma's blessings.
Because of? Okay, yeah,
Brahma's
okay, okay.
blessings. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 9 states, Brahma himself is not able to attain the good fortune obtained by Drona and Dara.
Yes.
How can Brahma give as a gift of what he himself is unable to attain?
He can't. He can't give it as a gift what he was unable to attain. He can't give the gift of being the mother and father of Krishna. He can't give that gift. How can one get such a gift? One might. Is that what the question is? That's not what the question is.
The question is that Brahma gave the blessings to Drona and Dara to become Krishna's parents. But Brahma can't get that good fortune for himself.
Oh, okay. Well, Drona and Dara were demigods, and they merged into the body of Vasudeva and Devaki. So he can do that from the demigod position to become merged into the body. You know, it's not an ordinary gift, but he has the power to give that gift.
This is a question. Did Nanda and Yashoda know that Krishna is God?
Nanda and Yashoda know that Krishna is God. And did I say that?
No, did they know that?
Oh, well, they were given plenty of evidence, but they didn't reach that conclusion. They came always to some other conclusion. Okay.
Next questions are from Sri Radhika Mataji. She has two questions. The first is, we hear in some Vrindavan pastimes that the demigods, including Lord Brahma, would come to watch Krishna's pastimes and hover in the air in their avimanas.
Yeah.
After the direct realization of Krishna that Lord Brahma had by virtue of this Leela, is it correct to understand that Lord Brahma was not again bewildered, but instead acted in consonance with Krishna's pastimes?
A lot of nice sound effects in this apartment. Is it usual like this?
You've been better lately, but before you were really bad, especially at night time. Like when you would be laying down to go to sleep, you see them running from side, all the way back and forth, dragging things. But this is better than that. What is it rolling? Some toys out there.
Okay. I'll go to the temple where it's cold. Now I forgot the question.
We hear in some Vrindavan pastimes that the demigods, including Lord Brahma,
Okay. Did Brahma again become bewildered, or was Brahma like no longer bewildered again? That's the question. There's no indication of his becoming bewildered again. But if he became bewildered again, it's just not written about, we wouldn't know. It seems like he's been taken care of, at least for a while.
Her second question is, if Brahma had not been bewildered so, The pastimes of the cows and cowherd community being satisfied by attaining Krishna as their offspring would not have occurred.
Oh, you got it. And that means it was induced by Krishna. The whole shebang, the whole Leela was Krishna's. So, chapter 12. There, the cowherd boys are going out to have a party with Krishna and all the calves, and wow, they're having a great time. And then Yogamaya calls Agasura, part 2. And Agasura does what Agasura does, and Krishna does what Krishna does, and Brahma's watching. So he does what he does. So that chapter 13 is like for that whole year when Brahma was doing his thing, Krishna was satisfying the mothers and the cows. What Brahma did was part of Krishna's plan. In other words, he's a devotee. He's not just, a nice Prabhu. He's a great devotee. So,
there's a little more, and
go ahead, a little more.
she writes, neither would Radharani have been married to Krishna during this 1 year's time. So is it just Lord Brahma's desire influenced by Krishna's internal potency to cooperate with the unfolding of Krishna's pastimes, to be bewildered in a way that led him to challenge Krishna's power?
Well, someone may argue that and someone may argue otherwise. How's that for an answer? There's more to it than just letting that other particular pastime. It's he's getting his knowledge potential being fulfilled because it wasn't fulfilled yet. It's seeing that form and understanding that form and expressing the things and asking his questions. It's giving him an added desire to want to serve Krishna more completely. And it's giving him the eagerness to take birth somewhere in Vrindavan so he can get dust from some of the residents of Vrindavan upon his head. So there's multiple things, not just that particular thing, so that the mothers and the cows could have sons and calves that are Krishna. He's cooperating and Krishna's cooperating with him. It's a whole dynamic, not just that strand.
Thank you, Maharaj. Our next question is, in the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave something that no other incarnation has ever given, the nectar of Radha Krishna Bhakti. In the other Vaishnava Sampradaya, like Nimbarka and Vallabha Sampradaya, there is worship of Radha and Krishna.
Yes, there is.
How do we understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave something that is unique? Is it that we worship Krishna because of he is worshipable by Radha? That is, Radha is our object of worship primarily?
Well, it's a little, the distinctions between the tattva and the conclusions of those tattvas is a long subject. There's a whole book about it. If some person is interested, Bhaktisiddhanta wrote. But the main distinction is it's Krishna himself, not just giving a teaching about Radha and Krishna relationship, but it's Krishna himself giving that love freely. That's the main distinction.
The next question is from Kalpataru Mataji, who writes, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. When/during cosmic manifestation, when he exhales from the pores of his transcendental body, little seed-like universes in a tiny golden shape come and expand.
Come and expand.
Mahavishnu expands himself into each universe. And then second point, Mahavishnu also glances at the totality of the material elements called pradhan. The living entities into pradhan. The living entities are transferred from within him into the field of material energy.
Boy, she's got it.
I have a question about the Mahavishnu who glances at the totality of the material elements called pradhan. Which Mahavishnu is he? The original Mahavishnu or the Mahavishnu that expands into each of the universes?
Who's glancing?
What?
Which Purusha is glancing?
Mahavishnu is glancing. The original, the first Purusha, Mahavishnu, or Karnadakshay Vishnu, who's lying on the Karna ocean, is the one glancing. That's the question?
Shatru Mataji, I didn't fully question.
She's just repeating the essence of the question because you saw I was like trying to sort out what the question is. She distilled the question down to asking which of the forms of Vishnu was the one glancing. Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so that was the first Purusha. We can know him as the first Purusha or Mahavishnu or Karnadakshay Vishnu, either any one of those three nomenclatures. That's the one who's glancing. Okay? You're looking at me like I didn't answer the question. We're okay.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. I vote.
The next question is from Shamasaki, who writes, you are mentioning Brahma was trying to understand Krishna by getting out his measuring sticks. Do we also block our ability to see Krishna by trying to use different measuring sticks? And can you give some examples of what those sticks would be and how it blocks our ability to see Krishna?
She can go back to text number 3, Jnane Prayasa Udapasya. So it's using our flashlight to find the sun. Using our capacity of intellect that is limited, because we are limited and our intellect is limited, to understand that which is not limited or unlimited. You know, an example is of so many examples of conflicting, contradictory potencies within Krishna simultaneously existing. Sometimes this one manifests, sometimes that one manifests, sometimes both of them manifest. And trying to sort it out with your tiny intellect. That's the measuring stick example. Like, for example, Krishna's unlimitedness prevented Krishna from being bound by Mother Yasoda's ropes, because at the same time he has a small baby size, or small boy size. Martyalingam, the phrase is used, a human child body. So to try to understand that by logic and reason with one's intellect, you'll never get there. So it's a measuring stick example. Doesn't work. So then what is going on? Well, he's both simultaneously limited and unlimited. And he can manifest his unlimitedness, and he can manifest his limitedness, apparent limitedness, by being bound by the love of Mother Yasoda. So that's a nice example, very simple one. The verse we just read is another one. You're lying on the water of the Garbodak Ocean, and I went to search for you and I couldn't see you. So I couldn't see you. And then I did some meditation, and after I did some meditation, then I could see you. Why is it that I could see you in my meditation only, couldn't see you outside? Because you exist. And then I saw you. So that's an example. Using the yardsticks to try to understand that which is beyond the yardsticks. Next.
Not seeing any more online
That's
questions.
it. Great. Anybody else in the room? And if not, we're ready to go upstairs and play with the kids and roll some toys around the floor and see what happens. This morning during japa, the brahmacharis were making a lot of noise up there. What was going on? Do you know what was going on? Just above where I stay, there was a lot of noise. Not like that, but it must be you. What were you doing? What were you doing? Jumping? You can tell me later. Did you make that little drawing of a mouth on your mask? Who did it? From the store. Okay. Looks nice. Oh, okay. I was wondering if that was approval or disapproval. Ashok, you got something? Mahaprasad behind you.